Good morning, you guys. So, this morning, it is the month that we call August, the day that we call Thursday, the date that we call the 14th, in the year that we call 2025. And I hope you're all well. I hope you're having a great morning. It is about 10 minutes to 7 a.m. here. It's a very foggy morning. It's very, very foggy, but it's very, very humid, and the air quality kind of sucks. It's very thick out there. It feels thick to breathe. So anyway, good morning to all of you. The healing intentions are always set for you folks. Always, always, always. So if you so choose, go ahead, stand in your power and decree that for your highest and greatest good, only and always. And always, always, always remember to not follow any links or emails in the comment section of the channels from anyone soliciting you for anything. That would be scammers. Do not do it. Do not do it. All right. So this morning I had somebody, I haven't been on. I think I was on last Thursday, and that's the last time you saw me. So since then I've been really, really busy. Not that I am not always, because my lifestyle creates a lot of tasks. But yeah, my mornings have been very busy. Like, I've been rushed and pushed to get things taken care of before I've had to start my day. So I didn't have free time really to get on. And I've been putting in very long days. Like the night before last, I didn't finish up and get off of my feet until after 9 p.m. And last night it was after 8:30, I think it was, 8:20. 8:20, I remember, because I sat for a minute and then went out to close the goats up for the night at 8:30. So yeah, just really long days, you guys, on my feet, busting ass. The only time I get to sit is when I'm with a client and I sit down and do the video calls with them, and then I'm just on the go. So I've been just at it steady, and we get up really freaking early in the morning. So I've been putting in long days. I'm absolutely exhausted. And that's why you didn't see me. My mornings were crunched. And then yesterday, I had time. I could have gotten on. I did have an hour and 45 minutes or so before I had to really do, get into the work mode, But I decided that I really just wanted to take that time for me and just sit quietly and have a hot coffee without it going cold on me, because my first 2 coffees in the morning always go cold on me, because I'm doing the whole time. And then I usually sit for my 3rd and last coffee with you folks, and it goes cold on me because I'm doing the cards. And yesterday I was like, no, I just really want to just take that time for me. So that's what I did. That's why you didn't see me yesterday. I thought about getting on, and then I was like, no, I deserve to just breathe and sit quietly and take in my coffee and just be quiet and still for a bit. So that's what I did. I gifted myself the morning. So that's why you haven't seen me. Busy, busy, busy. And then yesterday I indulged in just a little bit of time for just me. So I had somebody request that they wanted to know when state taxes, and I believe they're talking about income tax, right? Out of your income, out of your pay wages. Because we have things like dog licenses, permits that you have to get through your town or whatever, and that money goes to your state. Registrations, all of that stuff. But I believe what they were asking, what they wanted to know is, will state taxes that come out of your wages come out of wages come to pass? Will they stop being a thing? Will they be abolished? Will they no longer be a thing? So I do believe that things like that will change from state to state just by what we're seeing. With good things happening in some states, and some states like mine, not so good things happening. Depending on if you're blue run or red run, or, you know, it does feel like we all really do need to fight for specific things to get things changing in our own state, which, you know, if we're not involved and we're not doing that ourselves, then it's probably not going to be appreciated, and then it could easily be turned back around later down the road, right? If people aren't being actively involved in particular things. But let's take a look. Let's ask the question. We want a true story, please and thank you. Can answer with one card, and then we'll go ahead and let you speak on it some if you'd like. But what we want to know is, overall, will state taxes that come out of people's income, where they see that state tax taken every week out of their income, will those state taxes come to pass? Please and thank you with one card. Please and thank you. With one card. I realize that they may come to pass at different times via each state, but what I want to know is the end game, the end goal, where we're moving to, is an abolishment of people's incomes being taxed by the state. Will that end? Please and thank you. With one card, just an answer to that. Please and thank you. And then we'll get a little story on that. Well, I wish I had pulled a better card. With the hold on to, with this coming up, saying, wait a minute, hold on, and this is our assets, and we're talking about our money here. I think what they're going to say is it's going to be a little bit more complicated than that. So let's just talk reasonably for a minute, because I'm going to let them speak on this. All right, so here in my state, for instance, and I'm sure in all of your states, there are things that we are paying, that they're taking money out of everybody's checks every week, and things are going towards whatever these supposed leaders in our states decide is a good thing to send it to. So, for instance, here in Maine taxpayers' dollars have had to fund illegal immigrants. They've funded their housing, they've funded all of that stuff. That comes out of the Maine taxpayers. Meanwhile, Mainers, you know, many of them can't even afford their own houses. They can't afford, you know, a lot of people are homeless. They're barely getting by, having to make choices on, you know, food or rent. And yet, their money is going to provide free housing and heat and amenities for illegal immigrants that have never worked, paid any kind of tax in this state or this country, right? So that doesn't feel very good. People don't really like that. They're barely surviving, and yet the illegals can come here and live like kings if they want off of their backs. So then there's also the funding for the Narcan, the funding for the methadone clinics, and the funding for the works that they give out for drug addicts. Now, everybody that I talk to here in this state, it pisses them off. We're not upset about the Narcan. We don't want people to die. That's the last thing that we want. But if we can afford methadone clinics and works for people and Narcan for people, then why can't we maybe shift gears a little bit and put funding into free rehab for people rather than continuing to feed the problem? Well, we all know why that is, right? Because the government makes money off of these drug addicts. And they don't care if people die. So, that goes against people's moral fibers here in my state. Morally, people would rather help people get clean than continue to help people be on drugs. And morally, people would rather see their taxpayers' money going to Mainers that need help rather than to illegals' free ride. And let's see, what else do we pay for? So, the other things that we pay for out of taxes goes against a lot of people's morals is, if you get yourself pregnant and you're on welfare, they'll fund your abortion. And that goes against a lot of people's morals and values. The transitioning of children, a lot of funding is coming out of state taxpayers' dollars, and that goes against people's morals and values. The shit that kids are being taught in school, being funded from people's taxpayers' dollars, and it goes against their values and their morals. So it's not, we're not in the best of times as far as what's happening with the money that they're taking from you, right? And I mean, we could go on and on and on, right? And all of you probably have a story about, where your taxpayers' dollars in your state are going. Now, we also know that, so here's a good one. In my state recently, my governor stole money, reallocated money for our roads and our road care to illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, we live in Maine where we need plowing and sanding, and we have ice storms, and we have major frost heaves and potholes, and that money was out. That money was there so that Mainers aren't ruining their cars going down the road to get to work, or so that they can actually go down the road and get to work safely in the winter, which is our longest season. And she just reallocated that money towards illegals. So there's a lot of problems, right? A lot of problems there, and they just take from you to do what they want. But there are things that we do need, right? So we do need that road repair, like I was just saying, and there are things like that we do need. So as they're telling us to hold on, because this is going to be a little bit more complicated than we may be thinking, let's allow them to tell us a story, because I'm thinking some tax is still going to be needed for our state. Somehow, we're still going to need to be given money to our state. Let's say for things like natural disasters and road care, road repair, lots of things that's still going to need to go towards our state. So it looks like it might be more complicated. Can I just ask this? So am I right when I'm looking at this number 4, which says we will get balance? Balance needs to, the work needs to be done to have the balance come in for where our money is going and how it's being taken in our states. I want to know if I'm reading this correctly, please and thank you. So you're telling me it's complicated just by that 4. You're telling me that there does need to be work done to bring in some balance about how people's money is taken and where it is going in our states. Is that what I'm seeing here in this card? And so you're telling me to hold on. It's a little more complicated than just a yes or no. There will or won't be any state taxes. So taken out of people's income. Is that what you're saying? Please and thank you. Let's cut them. Is that what you're saying here? Please and thank you. Okay, that's what they're saying. Okay, you guys. So the universe is saying that it's a little more complicated than, oh, you're just not going to have any income tax taken out of your checks for, your income won't be taxed for your state. It's saying it's more complicated than that. So, and I asked if I got that correct, that it's more complicated with that. That's why it's saying hold on. With the 4, that means there needs to be work to create balance as to how money is taken from individuals and where it's allocated to per state. So it is a little more complicated than that. I'm going to let them give me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shuffle these in. And I'm going to let them give me a 7-card spread to kind of begin telling us a little bit of a story around this. So yes, please and thank you. Can you give me a pathway and begin some type of a story around these, around our states and the taxes that are coming out of hardworking people's pockets going to our state, please and thank you. Because I don't know about you guys, but for most of us here, we don't like what they're doing with the money. And they don't give a shit that we don't like what they're doing with the money. And so let's give the universe a chance to talk to us a little bit about that. Please and thank you. 7-card spread. We'll shuffle them one more time and then I'll cut them 3 times. And we'll get the pathway that we're looking at as far as taxes being taken out of people's incomes to go towards the estate and the story around that a little bit. Yeah. Oh boy. Moving energy, fast moving energy. Okay, so what they want to tell us is there's problems. There are problems. And we know that already. But this is kind of the beginning of the story, okay? So here's the problem. And we do, and it is saying we've got some fast moving energy to create some change here. So our first card at the bottom of our reading, the way that I create the reading so that my guides can tell me the story that I'm looking for. What I look for is, I want a pathway because we're building pathways. And so this very first, so this middle line for me is our pathway for me. Because this, you guys got to remember, this is not a traditional layout. I do not read traditionally. This is like, this is how I've decided it works for me and my guides to communicate. This is one layout that works for me. So For me, this is a pathway, the pathway that we're on, the big pathway, the most, it's the strongest pathway, okay? And this card right here would be what's driving that pathway into being. And we're getting an 8. So the 8 of rods in this deck, the Rider-Waite deck, in this deck for me means that you have something in your physical journey, because the rods represent your day-to-day, right? And your taxes being taken out of your check every week is a day-to-day physical thing. It's a physical thing that your money is being taken out of your check that you've worked for, that you earned every week to go towards to the state, for the state to then act like they can do whatever the hell they want with it, right? So there's this building of a very fast moving energy here that's driving our pathway. And with that 8, that's a higher vibration. It's like we're looking for a new way. Go up in thought. Think of something in a new light. We're looking for a new way. Fast moving energy moving towards us that is kind of pissing people off. And I would say it's moving fast because people are angry. Like with what I just said. People are angry. So there's this really fast moving energy that when you come above that, you've got that too. A stilling, right? So we're talking about taxes being taken out of people's checks to go towards their states. And it's like more and more people day to day are saying they want this shit stilled, because they can't see, they don't know, they're taking their money and they're putting it where they can't, where people don't even know it's going. It's like all the power was taken away from the people, right? And there are new emotions coming up around these taxes, you guys. So I find this interesting. I'm going to get another sip of my coffee. Because I've always been that person that hates taxes. And I've always gotten the lecture, Lorri, everybody needs to pay their taxes. It's their duty to pay their property taxes. It's your duty to pay your federal taxes, which it's not, because it's not even anything to do with our government, our country. It's your duty to pay your state taxes, like blibbity blah, blibbity blah. And people like think I'm terrible because I've always disagreed with taxes. It looks like we've got this huge energy here that's making more and more people disagree with their taxes. And they're looking at things from a higher perspective. They want to still the way things are being blindly done with the money that's coming off their backs. And they want a little balance put back into things. People are getting really emotional with that Ace of Cups. Highly emotional at where their money's going and how this is being done. So that's really interesting. Now, the story and how it begins around the way your money is being taken out of your checks every single week to go to your state. All right, we've got another 8. We have another 8. Again, a higher perspective. So a higher perspective has got to come in, is going to, according to what I'm getting at least. You guys take from it what you will and toss the rest. But we've got a higher perspective that's coming in physically. Because people feel as though they're bound and they get no say, right? So all of this stuff is happening around them. It comes off of their backs, but they're literally bound. They're not being shown where the money is going. They're being bound. They don't have a say in it. They are not liking this. People are not liking this, how this is working. And so above that, there's a complete death and a rebirth that needs to happen within this system, taking people's money out of their checks every week to go towards their state. Because above this, people feeling as though they're being bound. It's their money and they're being bound. And they're being shown the ugliness of what they do with your money. And I was just saying that, like, we are seeing the ugliness of what they do with our money here, right? So they're being shown the ugliness of that. Death is coming up, showing everybody the shit around the way their money is being taken, so that something new, so that this ugliness can be done away with, there can be a death to it, and something new can come out of this. Right across from that, we do have the Empress. And she does birth something new in a very healed way that could be celebrated. It's joyful and it's more abundant. So across from people being bound and not knowing what the hell they're doing, not being able to see, having whatever they want, having whatever the state wants to do with their money, being done with their money. Across from that, people do care. It's not like people don't want their state to succeed. Unfortunately, most people feel like their states are falling apart around them anyway with this Six of Cups. So people feel bound, like they have no control over where their money is going. And then they feel as though, they do care and they want to give to their state's needs, but they have no control over where it's going. And they feel as though the state is falling down around them anyway with this Six of Cups. Because if you look in the background of the Rider-Waite deck, the background of where these two children are carrying is just, it's crumbling. It's crumbling. So, but people want to care. People care. They want to heal. They want to heal the problems within their state and see their state birthed into something beautiful. So it does look like, there's an energy moving towards us that's going to still the way this is being done so far. So I'm going to let them speak on it more, and then I'll ask a couple of questions. But I want them to speak a little bit more, because it looks like, death is coming for the way things are done, and something more beautiful will be birthed out of it. Something more healing, more beneficial, more joyful, more abundant will be birthed out of it, because death is showing everybody the crappiness about what's being done with your money. People are feeling like they have no say. They're being bound. They don't like it. They want this shit stilled and balanced. They do care. They want to take care of their state, but they feel as though their money is going out. They have no control, and then their state is falling apart and crumbling as it is. So we're going to get more information here. And with that Ace of Cups, I mean, people, this is an emotional thing. People are really getting stirred up over it, you guys. High emotions there. So one more shuffle here. And let's cut them and get more story. So it's the people getting wound up. It's not surprising. It's kind of what I expected to see. Okay, so people are getting wound up. Okay. All right, so the rest of the story. So believe it or not, because of this energy and because of what people are seeing, there are apparently in places, not here I don't believe yet, but in places with this 7, there is groundwork being grounded in to, there is groundwork being done to change the way things are being done, to change the way people don't have any control of where their money is going, and ground in a new way once this death takes hold here. And with the 7, we can find the evidence. So look in your states and see if there's talk, if there are groups working to make change. Because it would say, here with the 7, it says, in some places there is groundwork being done to usher in this death a little quicker. People are really pissed and they're ready to do something new. So that's interesting. It would differ state to state. So look into your states and see what's going on. I don't think there's anything going on here. I don't think there's any talk of that here, but I'm going to look into it. I'm going to see if there is. There's so much going on all the time. It keeps us distracted and busy, but I think we should probably all take a bit of time to see if there are any groups or any representatives that are talking about this in our own states, wanting to ground in something new, a different way of either how the money is being taken or where it's going, or something different there, because people are feeling very passionate about it. Because this 7 of rods touches the feelings around this. It touches the 8 of swords, where people are feeling like they have no control over what's being done. And it touches the death, right? So, and it's also touching the fact that people want this stilled until it's fixed. So there's got to be some sort of action being taken somewhere. We should be able to find that either the representatives are starting to tackle this matter or something like that is happening. Now, over that work to ground in a new way of doing things, we have that the 9 of Pentacles, and here we are, we're talking about our money. And the 9 of Pentacles finishes a cycle, you guys. She ends things. So she wants to end things passionately because she's touching that Ace of Cups. She wants to end things she's really feeling it. Like there's a lot of emotion there. She wants this shit to end, something new to ground in, because she's tired of her money being taken away from her, right? So she wants to be able to care for herself, and she's very passionate because she's got all this red around her. So more and more people are on board with this, you guys. And there are groups somewhere, representatives somewhere, making an effort to discuss this. Talking about the dirty deeds that's been done, people's lack of control, saying that we need to shift this, death needs to come in and move things out the way they've been done. People need more of their own money, right? Because she's got the 2 piles here on each side of her. One is stacked higher than the other. People need to be able to take care of themselves, right? Because she's sovereign, she can care for herself. People want to see something new come in. And this would be the argument, the fast-moving energy around this. They want to see something new come in. Again, it's not that people don't care, but they need to be able to take care of themselves. A mass wake-up has been happening with people, okay? A mass wake-up with judgment. And it's this waking up of people where they're seeing that they're not given any control of where their money goes, where they're seeing, because they're looking around, they're seeing how their states are falling apart, and it's caused a mass wake up, which is causing this mass energy to move fast, which is actually getting the representatives or whoever, groups of people, rallying to ground something new in that takes care of the way the state income taxes have been handled and puts a death to them, brings something new in that will help people, yes, still take care of their state, but also live better. And so it's been a huge wake-up call. And again, we've got this 20 with judgment, and that is all about balance needing to come into the system, which is what we were told in the beginning. And that's amplified with that 0, right? Because that 0 just amplifies that too, goes on forever. So people are waking up because they are seeing, we come down to this King of Cups, they're now seeing, right? Because the King of Cups is the reveal. People have been woken up because things have been revealed about the way that their money has been used and how they have no control over it. The slimy things that have been done with that King of Cups, there have been reveals. So it's created a wake-up call. So it's getting people more involved and more stimulated, and it's stimulating work to be done to change things the way things are done, right? Because people have woken up to how imbalanced the money and what's been done with their money within their states, as their states have fallen apart, has actually been. And again, we've got this roller coaster of emotions, and behind this juggling act with this 2 of Pentacles, you guys. So this has been sort of a wake-up call. People are finally seeing that their money isn't going to taking care of their state. It's not going to take care of the people that they care about. It's not going to take care of the state. It's not going to take care of the people of the state. The people of the state are suffering with this 6 of Cups, and their states have fallen down around them, and it's their money that's being misused. So there's been this huge wake-up call, and they want you to know that this has created some movement with this 8 of Rods, and it is creating groundwork to happen to ground in a new way of taking care of our state, and stilling and allowing the old way to die and birthing something new. So am I getting this message correct? Please and thank you. So this is where we're at right now. And I'm asking if I've delivered this message correctly, please and thank you. One more. We'll cut them. So have I delivered this message correctly, please and thank you. Yes, with that Page of Swords. Not Swords. Page of Pentacles. I've given you, I handed you the information around your money. But the second piece of this, you guys, is that this is something fresh is going to happen with the money. And that was the next thing that I was going to ask them. So they want us to have an understanding that this movement of something different is happening. And it's because people are outraged with the fact that they have no control over what's being done with the money that's being taken out of their pockets. And meanwhile, all of this shit that they don't like is being done with that money. But the state itself and the people within that state are suffering, and the state is suffering because of the mismanagement of the funds, and people are really wound up about it. So we have something fresh that's going to take place with the money. So so I have a question before I start letting you talk a little bit more. My question is, so what I think you're saying is that there will still be some form of money that comes from we the people that goes towards our state in order to care for it. Is that correct? Please and thank you. That there will still be some form of the people of each state given some form of money towards their state for their state to be cared for. Is that what you're saying? Please and thank you. I'm going to clarify 3 things here, you guys. This shuffle and then 1 card. So, clarification on that, please and thank you. Yes. So, people are still going to, you're still going to be given some form of your money to your state, for your state to be cared for. But it's going to be a fresh way. The Empress births something new, much more healing, much more high vibrational, something that people would feel joy about. And the Page brings in something very fresh, something fresh. So, the way, are you saying, the way things are done right now, where they take people's money and they put it wherever the hell they want, and people of the state suffer, and the state itself suffers, are you saying that because you've given me all of this fresh stuff and you gave me the death last time in the other spread, are you saying that the way things are done now, that way is dying, and that way will end, that is something that will stop? Please and thank you. The way things are done now will end. Is that, can you clarify that for me, please and thank you? That people's money being taken out of their checks every week to go to things that they don't agree with and approve of, that they find morally wrong, while the state itself and the people of the state suffer and fall apart. You're saying that is going to come to a hard end. Is that what you're saying? The way things are done now, that everybody disapproves of, and that people are waking up to, is going to stop. Is that what you're saying? Please and thank you. One card, please and thank you. Is that what you're saying? Yes, that's what they're saying. The way things are done now is going to stop. A hard end to that stuff. We're going to move forward much more balanced, okay? And we should be able, because with this moving forward, the 7, again, they're telling us, seek the knowledge, seek the information. So there are people somewhere, we've either got groups or representatives that are running on this stuff or something. There's talk about grounding in a new way, and how corrupt the taxes are and how they're being used now in the moment. So seek out these groups, seek out these representatives that are working to make hard change right now. But yes, moving forward, this old way of doing shit is done. It's done. And we should have some proof. It may already be done, but we're living through the wake up. So I'm going to ask that, you guys. I'm going to ask, has this stuff already been addressed and looked at? Because you did show me groundwork and just needing to ground it in. Has this stuff already been addressed and looked at? And new ways thought up that will be actually presented to people here eventually in the future moving forward. That would be a much more healing way to, and fresh, to contribute our money to our state and our state's needs. Has this already kind of like been done, thought of, figured out better ways, but not implemented yet because we're still going through the wake-up phase with that judgment? Is that also what you're saying? Please and thank you. But that we will be doing it different moving forward. Is that also what you're saying? Please and thank you. These cards wanted to fall, and I was going to ask them to end with a story, so I'm going to take them. So is that what you're saying? Please and thank you. Because those fell just as I was thinking to myself, and I'm going to let you leave with a story. But yes, so people have already come together celebratorily. They're celebrating now because they've thought of ways that will bring balance physically into this new journey that we're moving towards, a fresh new way that we'll be taking care of our individual states with our funding. So yeah, things have already kind of been celebrated. Things are already sort of into motion, but we're dealing with the wake-up calls, the exposure with that King of Cups, and the riling up of people. So with this 4, there's already people out there that will help to present much more balanced ways, better ways of doing this in that physical journey. There are people that will come forward and help us figure out just better ways of doing things. So these cards fell. Let's take them here. So I asked the question of, have we already got things kind of put behind us, but not really, because we gotta go through the wake-up call piece. They're telling us, yes, celebrate. There are things already, people have already come together to help figure out better ways in this physical journey. A good portion of this is already behind us. Things are being assessed as we move forward, right? As we move forward. So we're in that assessment phase because of the wake-up phase. But things are moving fast with this 8 of rods, where we'll be able to start moving forward fairly quickly towards this new, better way, you guys. And it's not just going to be here, you guys. It's going to be the world over with that world. So that's what I'm getting. It's a little more complicated than, oh no, you won't be paying any state taxes or whatever. There's a new way that money is going to be used, that we're going to use our money in our future moving forward, that's going to care for our states and our people with a much more higher vibrational way. The old way that we've been doing things that make us so mad is dying. That's ending, complete ending to that. And there will be a new way that we care for our states. Not just here in the United States, but all over the world. So, whatever you call your localities, wherever you're from, right? Here in the United States, we're a united nation of states. Each state is sovereign unto itself. but we're a united nation of states. And within our states, we have our towns, cities, and counties, right? So however you folks do it around the world, whatever you call whatever, however your money is going into your areas that you are paying to care for via your money that you earn is going to change worldwide, the world over. Not just here, not just in some states, but there will be a change coming. Okay, you guys? So, have I read, the old way is coming to a hard stop. It's dying. Okay? So, have I read this correctly? Please and thank you. Have I delivered the message correctly? Please and thank you. One card. Have I read this correctly? Please and thank you. I've read this correctly to you with the King. Okay, so secondary piece of that is this will be revealed. This information that I just gave to you via the cards will come up from the surface, and we will start seeing it faster than we might think with that 8 moving in, moving that energy quickly, right? So let's see, we're in August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. April would give us 8 months. Rods move fast. If we wanted to get down to the nitty gritty, we could see some definite change over the next 8 months. I mean, it could be 8 seconds, 8 minutes, 8 hours, 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 months, right? That's how you would look at something like that. Or it can just be representing that it's given us the very fast moving energy. And that was the other thing that I was going to ask, because I believe that she wanted to know, when would we see this happen? They're saying it's going to happen fast. So I was going to ask, if this was going to be something that we would see happen within what we would call our 12-month linear year. So between now, which is August, mid-August, the month that we call August, in the year that we call 2025, and by August of next year, which we would call 2026, but this is saying around 8. This could be 8 months, which would take us into April, which would be our technical tax time, which we know that the Fed is going away as well, and things are changing there. So, so are you saying that we should be seeing this fresh new start within 8 of what we call linear months here on the Earth plane? Up to 8 months, which could take us into April. Is that a secondary piece of the message with the 8 of Rods? Please and thank you. Just a little clarification. Please and thank you. As the energy stands right now, could we see this happen as fast as 8 months from now? 8 of our linear months, which would take us into April. Please and thank you. That's a no. That would be a no. Not 8 months. Okay. That's also a 5. That would be a hard no. Well, could we see it? Could we see this change happen within our linear 12-month year? So between now, which is August, and next August, this is the month that we call August 2025. Could it happen between now and the month that we call August in the year that we call 2026? Would we see this type of income tax and the change with the way the money is taking care of our states within the next year? Please and thank you. This would be my no, not in 8 months, because the system has to go through that 5, that great change. So the system has to change. So our system has to be broken down first, right? So let's see. With the 3, I'm asking for a year, and I'm asking, would this change within the year? And it's only given me a 3, which is joyful, but it's showing me that it could change within the year for just some states, but not all states. And that was another thing that I was going to ask. So will this be something that kind of moves, like it will be a domino effect, like one state will make the change and then boom, this state does, and then this state does, and oh, it's happening here in America, and then it's going to start happening. Will it be like a domino effect? It's not going to happen all at once, but it will happen in that form. Is that what you're saying? Please and thank you. One more shuffle and I'll pull a card. Okay. That feels right there. So let's see. That's what okay, so what I said is correct with that Wheel of Fortune. So it will happen in some states first. It will happen in some areas first. And then it will be like a domino effect, and it will be a domino effect where the systems are changing, being broken down, because it's karmic. Got to put the bad guys back on the bottom, right? But the world over. So it's going to be a new way of our money being, the way our money is taken, used, or the way it's given, because we do care to take care of our communities and states and areas. And it's going to kind of be a domino effect. It will happen in one place first, and then it will kind of happen again and again, and it'll spread out from there. That's the yes with the Wheel of Fortune, okay? And know that the secondary piece of this 3 would be, the more people get talking, the more people get active in their communities, the quicker we can rejoice with that 3. So it did tell us to look into our communities and see what representatives are talking about these changes, what groups are talking about changes, and you know what? If you don't have any, start one in your area, because we got to get people talking about it, more waking up, local action, change. This is like we're just going through a very karmic phase. So yeah, that's what I'm getting, you guys. I hope that you found some value in it. Take from it what you wish, what resonates, and toss what doesn't. This is just what I'm getting. But it looks like, We're going through this time of great change. Systems are crumbling. People are getting pissed off. And that is really what's ushering in the energy to create the change. And it will happen bit by bit. But in the background, people have already figured out how we can do it a better way. But in the foreground, you have the wake up, which is creating the emotions that wants to create the change. And honestly, that is probably the best way to do it, because then that change will stick. I don't know. So anyway, that being said, I'm an hour in. I'm going to let them leave us with one card. So as the energy stands right now, and the information that we've been given as the energy stands, can you go ahead, just leave us with one card, insight, clarity, advice, whatever it is that you want us to, or whatever it is that you feel we could most benefit in hearing and knowing right now. So insight, clarity, advice, with one card, please and thank you. All right, so the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is brave. He's brave, and he knows that he can cross any river, any stream, any ocean. You know, he's ready. And so the universe is saying, you guys, you know, suit up and get out there and cross whatever bridge, river, stream it is that you feel is worth fighting for, because that's what he does. He's a warrior. He fights for what it is that he wants. And that's basically what they're telling us. Suit up, get out there and fight for whatever causes we want, and cross those bridges, rivers, and streams. And that's what they're telling us. So, yeah, make our voices heard, you guys. We've got to make our voices heard once again for things like that. I know I've been making my voice heard. They're probably tired of my voice. But, you know, emotionally be encouraged, because he's got his red on. Like, this is all about emotions, right? But he's using his passion to drive him. So whatever drives you passionately. And the secondary piece of that would be, remember, you guys, we can do this. We can do anything. We can cross any bridge, river, and stream. We are strong. We just take it slow and easy. We just do it. We do it at a calm pace in a way that we can get to where it is that we want to go. So that's what I'm getting, at least, for the reading. I take from it what you want. That's what they're leaving us with. We can do anything. We can cross any river, bridge, stream, you know, as long as we're passionate about it and we take it slow and easy and we watch our step and do it right. And if there's anything that we're passionate about, really feeling emotionally very passionate about, get out there and cross that bridge, that river, that stream, and fight for what it is that we feel is right or that we're passionate about, because that's what he is. He's a warrior. So that's the messages for today. Things will change. But it's not as simple as, oh, state taxes are just going to end. It's not that simple. Like, things are going to be done differently. That's what I'm getting, at least. Okay, you guys, I love you all. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And I will see you soonish. All right, take care. Bye.